Hello. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay. I'm trying to make the screen fit on YouTube a little bit better. I think I could still go a little bigger, maybe. It's getting better, but hi, everyone. Welcome to today's TOEFL speaking class. My name is Bailey. I'm one of the expert tutors here at E2 Language and over at E2 School as well. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Were any of you in the speaking workshop earlier? It's normally with Amber, but I did it today, so I'm getting a bit croaky. It's a lot of speaking for me today. Like I can still go a little bigger. Hi, Milligro. See Milligro, Gerald, Vania. Unfortunately, I can't see your names yet on YouTube, but hi there, everyone. Welcome. I believe the chat is working today. All right, so an overview of the speaking task. Actually, before we begin, where are you coming from? Or where do you live? You're in the USA? Which part? LA, lovely. My brother lives in Napa, so not too far from you. He just moved there, so I haven't been to visit him yet, but once COVID is over, I'm looking forward to it. Should be nice there. Hi on YouTube. Ahmet, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. Is it Donex? And hey, oh, this one's hard. Hey, query from Tashkent. Excellent. So a little bit about me. Well, and still tell me where you're coming from, please, while I'm waiting on those replies. I am from the US. I was born and raised in Kansas City, but I lived all over the States. I lived in Guatemala for a year. I lived in Vancouver, Canada for about 5 years. And now I've been here in Melbourne for about 2 years. So sometimes I get questions on what is my accent. I don't know. It's a mix of everything. It's mostly North American, but it's a little bit of a mishmash. You're in the States as well? Which part? Turkey? Wow. Oh, it's so amazing seeing so many people from all over the place. Very neat. Hi, Fania. All right, so now let's get started. So speaking has 4 tasks, but 2 main sections, the independent and the integrated speaking sections. In today's class, we are going to go over the very first task, which is personal choice. So in the personal choice task 1, we're asked to choose between 2 sides of an argument. That part is important, choosing the side, and then defending your choice with reasons and examples. So for this class, you'll want to make notes and record your answers. I usually use voice memos on my phone. Any free recording software that you have will work, and it's just so you can listen to yourself and self-assess. So today we're just focusing on speaking task 1. Again, that's personal choice. We'll start with a warm-up. We'll look at the appearance, what you'll see in the testing center. We'll look at the method, how we recommend that you answer this question. We'll review the scoring. We'll have some practice time so you can do some yourself, and then I'll share with you some additional resources. Southern California, wonderful. All right, so let's first start with a warm up. So we're going to talk about student accommodation. So what are some accommodation options for university students? Go ahead and put what you think in the chat. What are some options for university students? Where could they live? Any ideas? Sorry, my heater just ticked on. It's a bit cold here, so if that's too loud, they'll let me know. Milligro, they could live in a room for students. Is there a name for that you can think of? Yes, exactly. In a dormitory or a dorm room. Absolutely. What else? Where else could they live? Yep, dormitory. Well done. I'd say that's the most common when we think of where a student would live. Milligro, I'm not quite sure. Students with impaired hearing? Is that what you mean? Like they can't hear well? Yeah, they might have their own accommodation with other students with hearing impairments. They could. Where else could university students live? Oren, you've gone ahead and answered the next question. So I guess that's another thing to think about. So not only what are their options, but which one do you think is best? Where's the best place for them to live? Yes, well done. They could also rent a house. They could stay with a host family. What's the best type of accommodation for university students? You think to live in the student dormitories, Milagro? And Oren has said the best place for students to stay is definitely at a home, especially in Turkey. What about you? Where would you prefer to live while studying at university? And not only where, but why? Where would you prefer to live? You'd prefer to live close to the university, but not in the dorm? Yes. So you can be in class on time. It's a very good reason. In your opinion, the best option for students is a dormitory because their students have a chance to know other students, international students. Yeah, you can make friends nearby, and other friends hopefully would live near on or near the campus as well. So why typically those are benefits as well. What about challenges you would face? What would be the hard part of living wherever you'd prefer to live? You live in a home with your friends from university, so it's cheap to live compared to a dorm. Oh, it's even cheaper than a dorm. That's interesting. And you're able to bring other homies into your home. It's a good use of synonyms. You said mates and homies. Yeah, that's interesting. In the States, I think it's normally more expensive to live in a house with roommates than it is to live in a dorm. You would choose to live on campus and then you'd have a chance to work on campus part-time. That's smart. Milligro, that's a good point too. If you live really close to campus, there might be a lot of other students around who are very noisy. That could be a challenge. Yazzer, you're saying in a dorm. Yeah, these are some good options. Don't forget that some students stay living at home the whole time that they're in college. They still live with their parents. That's another option. They could live completely by themselves. They could live in a share house with roommates. They could live in the dorm. Where else could they live? Those are the main ones, right? And I would say there are pluses and minuses to all of those things, benefits and drawbacks. Well done, though. Really good discussion, good ideas to get us going for our speaking. So, the appearance, what we'll see on our screen on test day, we'll see the question prompt, and an audio recording of the prompt is also played, so it is read aloud. And then you see the time. So once that question has been read aloud, a timer will automatically start counting down from 15 seconds. And that's the time that you have to prepare. That's when you should be making your notes, your plan of what you want to say. And once those 15 seconds are up, then it will start the recording. And for this one, you'll be given 45 seconds to record your answer. So again, question prompt, and under that is the time. Pay attention to those timers. You share a room with your classmates, and it's more expensive than a dorm there as well. Yeah, I thought generally it was a bit more expensive, but I guess that depends. And maybe I have friends that have like 12 friends, 12 roommates in a 4-bedroom apartment. Then it might be cheaper because someone's paying to live on the couch. Just depends, I guess. All right, so the method that we recommend for speaking task 1 is a 4-step method. First, read the question. Second, choose a side, which side you're going to argue for. Third, make brief notes for your reasons and your examples. And fourth, present. So I'll break these down step by step. First, we're going to read the question. And when we're reading, think about what the 2 sides are. So take just a second to read that now. Okay, so the 2 sides, essentially on campus or on campus. Some prefer to live on campus, others prefer to live off campus. Which option do you think is better for university students and why? All right, so which side do you agree with? We've discussed this a bit. Which side would you choose? Which side would you like to speak about, to argue for? to give details and examples about. Which option do you think is better for university students and why? Now, it isn't saying for first year students, which could be different, but you can say that. You could say something to the effect of, while I think that higher level or older students would be fine living off campus, I think it's very important that first year students live on campus, and then give your reasons and examples for that side. So you can acknowledge the other side, absolutely, but you don't want to go too far into it, and you only want to argue for or give your reasons and examples for one side. Even if you're a bit middle of the road or you don't have a strong opinion either way, the task is for you to say, which option do you think is better and why? So make sure you're doing that, even if in real life you don't care, you don't feel one way or yet the other strongly. For this, you need to choose a side. So make sure you're doing that. Yeah, so you can explain both, but it's better to choose to pick which side is better and explain why. So again, you can acknowledge that other side, but I would only briefly do that if you're going to. It's more important to fulfill the task by saying which option is better and why, then give details and examples. So often people want to talk about both sides. It's fine, but again, it's more important to pick one. Just briefly acknowledge the other if you're going to. So I'm seeing on campus. You're a third year student and you still choose on campus because there are pros, like you have more time to have breakfast, there's no traffic issues. Very good points, yes. Those are good reasons and examples. All right, so this is the note-taking template you want to make. So you state your opinion, your first reason and example for that opinion, another reason and another example for that opinion, and then restate your opinion. Feel free to take a screenshot. This is a really helpful structure that I like to suggest. Now, you don't always have to follow it exactly, but if you do, you're going to do well. It's a really good guide. So which option do you think is better and why? So your opinion is what you think, whether it's on campus or off campus, and your whys. So again, I've seen more time for breakfast, no traffic jams, easier to make friends. So all of those are for living on campus, but remember, there's not a right or wrong answer. You can say the exact same things, or not the exact same things, but you can give very good reasons for living off campus as well. So again, why and how, and then restate. So most people are saying on campus, so you would want to say that again. So again, does not matter which side you choose. What's important is how you defend your choice. So either side is completely fine. There's not a right or wrong answer, but you need to provide reasons and details for your answer, which is why I recommend just picking one side and arguing for it, kind of ignoring the other side, even if in real life you feel it in the middle. Right, so these are my notes, and it's similar to what some of you have said. I think that living on campus is better because it gives you a better university experience. For example, or my first reason, is that you have more interaction with other people. And in this last year, we've all needed more interaction with other humans. An example of more interaction is friendships, which a few of you said it's easier to make friends. Also, facilities. You have better access and closer access to facilities like breakfast on campus or like the university shuttle. So the shuttle can take you around the campus and it's just easier to get around. Therefore, I believe living on campus is better for university students. So remember, we only have 15 seconds to take notes. We're looking at this as a positive, though. If you're called on in class, you don't get 15 seconds to make notes and to think about your answer. You just have to automatically give your response. So it's a good thing we get 15 seconds to quickly jot down notes like this before we give our response. Right? So my opinion, my reason, and my example, my second reason and second example, and restating my opinion. So let's now listen to a sample. Feel free to read along with it as well.
I think living on campus is certainly better for university students for a bunch of different reasons. But due to the time constraint, I will focus on the two most obvious ones. The first being increased interaction with other students. Living on campus provides opportunities to meet other like-minded students and form new friendships. Another advantage is being in close proximity to all the university facilities, especially the university shuttle. When someone is new to an area, it can be difficult to figure out the public transport system. So having easy access to the university shuttle is very convenient. Therefore, I believe that living on campus is the way to go.
Okay, how do you feel about that response? Good, bad, so-so? Good? I agree. I think it was good, but why? For the why it's a good response, let's look at scoring. So how your response is scored. This is the official TOEFL scoring guide. I'm sure most of you have seen this by now. If not, go over to the official TOEFL site and you can download this, but it is very lengthy. It uses lots of technical language and it can be very hard to absorb what it really means, what it's trying to say. So we created this simplified marking guide and feel free to take a screenshot of this. I just find it easier to understand. Said the response is quite good and a bit complicated. Complicated in a good way or in a bad way. It can be seen either way. Complicated as in well-structured, a layered response is a good thing. Complicated as in hard to understand, not so good. All right, so think about our sample answer and read through the delivery side. Yeah, she gave all of her reasons. I agree. So 1 through 4, or actually 0 through 4, what score would you give our sample answer in delivery? I'll give you a little bit to read all of these 0 through 4 descriptions and put your answer in the chat, what you would score her. I'm seeing a 3.5. Having complex grammar in our answers is better for us to get high scores. Yes, absolutely. So I would actually give her a 4. Why? Because she didn't have a lot of awkward pauses. It was very well paced. It was fluid. She didn't search for language with It's very fluid and accurate pronunciation and intonation. Yep, she was easy to understand. She pronounced things accurately. Remember, everyone has an accent. You are not marked down for having an accent. You're marked down for not using intonation correctly, for using pronunciation wrong and in the wrong places, right? So don't worry about the accent side of it. Worry about being well-paced, fluid, and accurately pronouncing and using your voice to go up and down. So now look at language use, 0 through 4 here, and put your answer in the chat. I love that reason, Oran. I said a 3.5 because I would be a tough teacher, but she definitely deserves to get a 4. I do often see in the chat, you guys are pretty tough on these samples. You want them to be perfect. And remember, with the TOEFL, things don't have to be absolutely perfect. They know that we are all humans and that even first language English speakers trip over our words, mispronounce words occasionally. So they give you room for that. That's why I really like the TOEFL. They aren't expecting exact perfection to get a 4. You can achieve a 4 being really good, but not perfect. So most of you, I'm seeing 4s with this one, effective use see, I just tripped over my words. Effective use of grammar and vocabulary with only minor errors. Yes, I would say a 4 because that effective use of grammar, if we look at the transcript, there aren't any major grammatical errors. She used different tenses and used them accurately. I think, I will focus, the first being, the campus provides, it can be difficult. So having, therefore I believe. Tenses are hard, they're tough to learn. Some languages don't even have tenses, or at least not the way that we do in English. So they are very difficult to use, and she used them correctly. Another reason she got a 4 here is a variety of sentence structures. So some are longer, some shorter, simple, complex, compound complex, a bit of all of those. And as far as an effective use of vocabulary, she's used lots of collocations and phrasal verbs. for a bunch of different reasons. Remember, in the speaking, we can be a bit more on the informal side. You might not want to say this in the essay writing portion, but just in the speaking side, it's fine. It's a collocation. Due to the time constraint, increased interaction, like-minded students, form new friendships, close proximity, public transport system, that's the way to go. Again, more on the informal side, completely fine on speaking, probably wouldn't do that on the writing aspect. So now look over at the topic development. So again, read 0 through 4 and let me know how you think the sample did for topic development. Okay, seeing some 4s for this one, finally. You're supporting her topic development. So I agree. I think she deserves a 4, but why? Let's go into that as well. Sufficiently addresses the prompt. If we look at the prompt and the transcript, so again, which option do you think is better? Why? Details and examples. So she's given a clear opinion and relevant reasons and examples. I think living on campus is certainly better for university students. So she's done that first thing. She's stated her opinion. So the first being increased interaction with other students. Her first reason, an example, you can meet other like-minded students and form new friendships. And then 2, her second reason, another advantage is being in close proximity to the facilities. An example, having easy access is very convenient. And then restates her opinion. Therefore, I believe that living on campus is the way to go. So definitely well done with addressing the prompt. Now, the response being well developed with logical progression and connection between ideas. Yep, she's used linking words and phrases. These are great to use when you're speaking and when you're writing. I think, but due to, I will focus on the first being another advantage, especially, so, therefore. So really helpful linking phrases that really help us to follow along what she's saying and what she's going to say next. So a good answer ticks all of these boxes. These are all for the 4 band. The delivery will be well-paced and fluid with accurate pronunciation and intonation. The language use will effectively use grammar and vocabulary, but again, you can have some minor errors. They can't change the meaning of what you're intending to say, but you can have some slip-ups. We all slip up when we're speaking. And topic development, you will sufficiently address the prompt, and your response will be well developed with a logical progression and connection between your ideas. So this means it will also avoid these pitfalls. If you have consistent pronunciation difficulties with fragmented speech and frequent pauses, you aren't going to score very high. If your grammar and vocabulary is severely limited to the point where you aren't getting your point across at all, Again, that's a 1. And if your topic development is severely limited and you cannot sustain your speech in order to complete the task, that's a 1 as well. So we want to avoid all of those things. Right, and Oren, you said you think that you'd score on the lower side because you're a newbie, but you're doing a great job in the chat. So I don't know. I think you're being hard on yourself again. You're a tough teacher. All right, so now it is your turn to practice. Remember to use your recording software if you have something so you can listen and self-assess. In this one, you'll have 15 seconds to prepare, and your response should last for 45 seconds. So I will read out the question, and then I'll begin the preparation time, and I'll tell you when to begin your response time. Some people think that we should have shorter work weeks and longer work hours. For example, 4 days at 10 hours each day. What do you think and why? Give examples and details in your response. Begin your preparation time now. Begin your response time now. When I turned the camera on, that was the end of time, but I wanted to let you have a few more seconds to finish up. So I know sometimes the preparation time can seem so short and the response time can seem very long, but really some of the other exams, you're expected to speak for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so 45 seconds isn't too bad. All right, so let's listen to another sample answer and compare it to your own.
I think working longer hours for fewer days a week is certainly better for a bunch of different reasons. But due to the time constraint, I will focus on the two most obvious ones. The first being a healthy work life balance. If employees have 3 days off during the week, then they will be able to spend more quality time with their family and friends. Another advantage is increased productivity. When employees are well rested and stress free, they can get more done during work hours. Therefore, I believe that shorter work weeks will not only be beneficial to the employees, but also to their employers.
Okay, what do you think about that response? How did he do? Just overall, was it good, bad, so-so? I think, yeah, good. I think his topic development was great. He stated his opinion, restated his opinion, gave reasons and examples for that opinion. He was quite easy to understand. The response is very clear. I agree. Yeah, I think This was probably all fours, and you could hear that he did not pronounce every single word correctly. His pronunciation wasn't perfect, but he was easy to understand. It was clear. I would still give him a four on language use, grammar, and vocabulary. He used great words, linking, all of those things that we ask you to do. So I think it's a great response. Was it absolutely perfect? No, but you don't have to be absolutely perfect for fours. Okay, so now take a couple of minutes, listen to your recording, and then read through and give yourself a score. Put your score in the chat so I can see it. Don't worry if other people see it. Don't be too hard on yourself, but be honest as well. And do remember that your delivery could be a four, but your language use might be a two, and your topic development a three. They can all be different scores. So, again, give yourself a couple minutes, listen to your recording, and read through and give yourself a response. I'll give you about 2 minutes for that. I'm seeing some threes. I'm seeing some all fours. That's excellent. I like the confidence and that's great. Very good. That's what we were hoping for, right? Or working towards, more importantly, not just hoping for, but working hard towards. And I know all of you are working very hard. So, some additional resources. Make sure you're working on your speaking skills outside of class. Go to the your E2 language account. And in the course, you can practice the independent speaking exercises. I've been recommending TED Talks a lot lately. You can use them to practice your listening, but you can also print, or you don't have to print, but you can use and see the transcripts and read along with the speakers. And doing this, especially if you just do it in short chunks where you listen to what they say and repeat exactly what they said, copying their speed, their intonation, their pronunciation, all of those things will help you become a more native speaker. So you'll do your listening, reading, and speaking all in one activity. So again, find a TED Talk that you find interesting. There are some great ones, some boring ones, depending on topics you like. So to make your studying a little more fun and exciting, try to find a topic you find interesting and do this. And also going to YouTube, to our E2 TOEFL channel, and also the E2 school channel is really beneficial as well. Oh, another 4, excellent. All right, so that is the end of class today. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to make this a bit smaller so that I can see questions. If you don't have any questions and you need to go, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you next week in our TOEFL classes all throughout the week. We have on, I need to check my notebook, Monday, we do TOEFL listening. Tuesday, TOEFL writing. Wednesday, TOEFL reading, and then again, the free class is on Thursdays, this TOEFL speaking class. We also have a pronunciation workshop now, which is free as well, and it's for E2 school and E2 language to work on individual sound pronunciation, and it's at, in my time, Australian Eastern Standard Time, from 3 to, it can be anywhere from 3 to 3:45 or from 3 to 5. And I'm teaching that one as well now. So come join the pronunciation class, the free pronunciation class before this class, and then next week this class as well. Unfortunately, I cannot send you these slides. They're embedded within the resource, and I can't do that. Is it good to use idioms? Yeah, if you have or know some good idioms, absolutely, but make sure you're using them correctly. Don't just throw them out there if you aren't sure what they mean. Is it possible to get a 30 in the speaking section? It's possible. It's very, very difficult. Again, I typically try to say don't focus on your score, especially at this point. Work on all the things that you need to work on, your foundational skills, your pronunciation, your word choice, and then take our, over at E2 Language, we have a mini mock test, which includes a speaking section, and you'll get feedback on that. And so that will let you know about what level you're at, but it is hard to say what score you have or what score you'll get without, especially without taking the mini mock test. The mini mock test will give you a better idea than I can in class. You need to have almost all 4s to get a 26. Yep, you do. That's hard, but I know you've been practicing so hard. So I have faith. Have you taken your mini mock test yet? Not yet. Have you booked your exam yet? Yes, when is it? Next month. Okay, so make sure you are doing all of the practice tests, exams, writing, speaking, all of the practice that you have in your account. Don't save them up. I recommend doing one, submitting it, waiting till you get your feedback, and then doing another one. If you do them all at once, you'll get the same feedback for every single one of them. Uh, it won't change much at all. So try to space them out. It can take about 48 hours to get your feedback. So make sure that you do one, give yourself about 3 days, look it over, um, take in that feedback, work on those things, and then wait to do another one. And then at least a week before your exam, do the mini mock test. So that's all of those sections. And again, you'll have feedback, you'll have a good idea of how you'll do, but you'll also have some more things to work on that are more targeted, more specific in that mini mock test. And yes, the mini mock test is again over at E2 Language. It's not for any of the free accounts. So I don't know exactly what each account type entails. So you'd have to email hello@e2language.com and they can help you more with exactly what account has the mini mock test and things like that. But it really is an invaluable resource, as are all of the ones leading up to the mini mock, the writing samples and speaking samples. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The free pronunciation workshop on Thursdays at 3 p.m. So do that and then come to this class next week. Or come to all of the TOEFL classes next week. Any other questions? Right, it's not looking like any other questions tonight. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again next week in one of the TOEFL classes and in the pronunciation class. Have a wonderful weekend and stay safe wherever you are. Bye.